I've worked all of my life to live in Italy. We found this place, and now this is our place, and it means everything to me. I love that Tuscan food, it's about basic ingredients and the quality of them. It can take a long time. There's braised meats, there's slow-cooked ragouts and sauces and things. Beef cooked in wine. So we're just crushing garlic, slow-cooked in red wine. Slowly add the polenta. And at the end, this is the exciting part. And look at it, it's falling apart. It's gorgeous. Boom! Food is a conduit. We make food to take us away to places we've never been and dream about going to. You just need your imagination and a couple of bucks, and you have a ticket to anywhere. So come on over. I love this place. I hope you do too. Let me tell you about my wedding. We had that night beef cooked in wine. Very common in Tuscany. And they do it in different ways in different small regions or cities or villages. Tuscan food in general, though, is about the simplicity of the ingredients. As few ingredients as possible and the best quality possible. Best quality of ingredients with the fewest ingredients. This is stew beef, a beef cooked also in red wine, but the most inexpensive cuts that you can buy. When I make one batch, I'm cooking for a crowd here and my husband. So when we make one batch, we use a couple of pounds, 2 to 3 pounds. And you can use chuck, you can use shank, beef shank, or you can use ranch steak. It's a marbled, fairly tough meat that you need to cook for a long time. That's another thing that's very popular in Tuscany, braised meats. You know, slow cooked in liquid is all we're talking about. In this case, the liquid is red wine. My husband giggles because I nicknamed this wine cuckoo, like a cuckoo clock. It's Monte Cucco, which is a beautiful little tiny village. And this was a gift. This type of wine from our region was a gift from my friends, Francesco and Samantha. Samantha actually found this wine and gifted it to us. I love it. I cut the meat. This is about 4 pounds, a little over 2 kilos, because again, cooking for a crowd. And I cubed it into, you know, stew-sized pieces. So it's like 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. I don't sit there and measure. Don't be too uptight about your food. When you cook uptight, the food tastes like it. See what I'm saying? You have to cook chilled out. So make a cup of tea, have a glass of wine, have whatever you need to chill out. But don't cook tight. You gotta cook loosey-goosey. Garbage bowl. Boop, boop. I have my hand preheated. This recipe is from Florence, and I called it Crazy Easy or Crazy Stupid, something like that. Crazy Easy, I think. Crazy Easy Stew, because, well, it is. Here's the elements. The meat, which you obviously see in front of your eyes, and a whole lot of coarse black pepper, like a lot. There's a whole jar from Le Boit, my friends at Le Boit. Hi, guys. And girls. I'm gonna try and do it a little cooler because this is Italian marble, this mortar and pestle. So I'm trying to make it look a little cooler, but I really just want to bash it. Okay, I'll be back in a second here. Just keep working on it. I always have everything prepped that can be prepped. Put away produce clean, put away garlic peeled, put away onions peeled, and change them out once a week instead of starting from scratch every night. You'll eat better food and you'll cook more if you set yourself up for success and make less work every day that you can. So we're just crushing garlic for every 2 to 3 pounds, which would be 4 to 6 people. You're going to want to do 1 whole bulb of garlic. The only elements in this dish are traditionally black peppercorn, coarsely ground, which we have a lot of. The good quality beef, of course, but it's going to braise in that beautiful red wine. And lots of garlic. Okay, let's get that wine open and we'll get this into the pot we go. The oven's on the equivalent of 325 Fahrenheit. I can't give up my love of that sound. It's very sassy, sexy. So we're going to brown the meat first with lots of black pepper. And with about a tablespoon for a 2 to 3 pounds, okay? So 1 big chunk of stewing meat. So we're gonna do that twice. And then our pepper, raw, monstrous amounts of pepper. But the pepper with the fruit flavors in the wine, I mean, it just gets really sexy in there. Now, to roadmap this, we're going to thicken it up with one of 2 choices. You can just add a little slurry of a bit of water and a touch of cornstarch, or you can add some veal demi-glace. I use one of these. They come in little individual containers. It's just a couple tablespoons, right? They sell them like this in the grocery store. Because we're making a double batch, I'm using 2. And we use that later. Okay, what we're gonna do is get the meat browned and wine, throw in our garlic, and let that cook in the oven for a couple of hours. Okay. What we're gonna do is get the meat browned and out our wine. And then we're going to throw in our garlic and let that cook in the oven for a couple of hours. Now, if you're only making 1 batch, it'll probably be done in closer to 90 minutes because you have much less meat than I'm cooking. I have this on low, but you know, the pan's been heating up for a while, so it's, and it, you know, extra virgin olive oil, this is ours from our land, has a pretty low smoking point. So we want to get this right in there to get those meat juices, the meat itself caramelizing as quick as possible. And don't move it. Do not touch the meat until the meat is brown. When it feels like it can pull away from the pan, that's when you can touch it. Now that's all a person from Florence would put into that pot with the wine, right? Just the meat and peppercorns. The garlic has to go right before it goes in the oven so it doesn't burn, okay? I like to add a little flourish to anything I do. You want to give your food a little bit of your own personality. I like juniper and rosemary with braised meats, especially when you're in Tuscany. So I'm going to do just that because it's my kitchen. I'm going to throw in a couple of sprigs of rosemary and a few juniper berries. My husband and I both love juniper. We use it in shingale sauce. We use it in many braised meat dishes. We also use it in the gin that we created. Well, I created. I made a recipe for gin that I think is pretty dang good. Most gin has juniper in it, though. Our gin is called staple gin. So I always have juniper in our family pantry. It's around the house all the time, all year long. Fun trick. Take 2 wine corks, start them between your thumb and your index finger, and then you have to change hands with one move. Watch that a few times. I just messed you up. Okay, guys, now I am stirring in 2 veal demi-glace. Again, you could add just a little cornstarch slurry to thicken your sauce. And what is the sauce? With our black pepper, easy to make Tuscan style beef, it's wine. Now I'm making double the recipe with the beef, but you don't need double the wine. 1.5 bottles is gonna be fine. Per every 2 to 3 pounds, you're gonna need 1 bottle. But when we double recipes, you have to use a little bit of your best judgment. Sometimes we don't need to exactly double everything. So, good to know, right? Now, in the corners here, this is called fond. It's the juices that get stuck to the side of the pot a bit, okay? So we want to pick up all the flavor that we've built into that pot. We're going to add in all of our garlic. We waited to do that so we wouldn't singe the garlic. And it's going to slow cook as the braise happens. Again, I'm cooking a lot of meat, so this will probably take closer to 2 hours than 90 minutes, but we'll keep checking. No big deal. Fun note. So we're just going to get the pot covered and shove it in the oven. We're gonna make the polenta. Super healthy for you, super tasty. You can use any cornmeal. There's lots of polentas on your grocery store shelves, and you just follow the package directions. So this has been resting for about a half an hour. And if you make the single amount of what I wrote for you guys, okay, it'll probably be closer to 90 minutes. This baby, I did a double batch because we have a lot of folks here. I'm not even gonna uncover it yet. There's no need to. We're gonna make the polenta. The polenta that I use is something I buy online, and it's an actual mix of cornmeal and buckwheat. Super healthy for you, super tasty, but of course you can use instant polenta, and it is instant. It cooks in 3 minutes, and you can buy it in any grocery store. You can use any cornmeal like Bob's, red mill, I love. But there's lots of polentas on your grocery store shelves, and you just follow the package directions. The difference I make is I always cook in layers of flavor. So I don't cook something naked or just in water. I always cook in stock or bone broth or flavored water of some sort, okay? There's no reason not to add flavor any place you can, as long as you can afford to. Okay. Let's pour in 2 quarts of stock for 1 bag, okay, of this beautiful 500 grams, so that means 1.1 pounds of this particular type of polenta. Why do I like this? This particular type is cornmeal mixed with buckwheat. I love the depth of flavor. It's a beautiful, rich mix of flavors. That buckwheat really adds a little anchor to the whole thing. But this takes a little while. This takes about 35, 40 minutes, okay? And whenever we make polenta, we have to start with hot liquid. Once it gets hot, then we can start combining everybody. We can add the polenta to the liquid. At the very end, the big finish. No, I'm gonna make you wait for the big finish. Whatever. You can wait for the big finish. So guys, the beauty about braised meat is that the longer it sets, the better it gets. What's going on over here? For every bag, 500 grams, just over a pound, of polenta, I use 2 quarts of stock, not water. So we're going to slowly add in circles so it isn't a big pile at the bottom of the pan, a bag of our polenta. What is polenta? Ground cornmeal. No big deal. So the big finish is cheese and butter. It's essential. You stir in when this is almost done. We stir in butter. This is a whole stick because it's a whole pot of polenta, okay? And I like a combination. You only need about a cup of cheese, but I use more. What a shock. And I combine pecorino, which is sheep's milk, and Parmigiano Reggiano, which of course is cow's milk, the king of all cheeses. So we do a combo, and then our garnish for the beef is just a little bit of grassy parsley. That's all. That's all it needs. So the most exciting part of making polenta, guys, is when we add the butter and the cheese. I use a polenta that's made with buckwheat, okay? So the most exciting part of making polenta, guys, is when we add the butter and the cheese. This is a really big deal. It really is. It's the point of having polenta. Polenta, again, is cornmeal, right? That we cook out, in my case, in stock, or in your case, water or stock, your choice, or a mix of the two, or stock and milk. I use a polenta that's made with buckwheat. It has a depth of flavor that I absolutely love. At the very end, I put a paddle in the pot instead of a whisk that I've been working it through so that it doesn't get too thick, okay? So for 1 bag or 500 grams, or about a pound, of the actual polenta, I cook it in 2 quarts of liquid. Again, that's your choice. You can make it with milk and water, milk and stock, all water, okay? But you need to add flavor. So we need to season with a little salt. I used pecorino and Parmigiano combined, so that's cow's milk and sheep's milk, as we've talked about many times, okay? I mix that all together. It's perfection. What we want with polenta is a pourable product. You want something that's going to ease into the dish and gently hug whatever you put on top of it, okay? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna slide it over. Look, I'm gonna do like a shuffle, like you're going to a wedding dance. Oh, there we go. Look at how artfully I did that. I even dropped the spatula in there. So this is the consistency you want. Woo! We can pour that. There you go. We're gonna put the ladle into this fella. Choo-choo. So we had to turn the lid upside down to put the too large lid on the too small brazier. But there's our beef. And look at it, it's falling apart. I can break it up with a paddle. It's gorgeous, and it's cooked just in wine, and you can use the veal demi-glace. Like, how good does that smell? Okay, now I'm just gonna chop a little bit of grassy parsley to finish that with. It's simplicity itself. It's the most traditional, it's just beef cooked in wine with tons of black pepper. Everyone can do this. There's very few ingredients, and it's delicious in the end. And there we go.